Hey, what is going on, guys? It's James here, and it is a horrible morning here in the UK. All rainy, nothing new, I guess. But I just want to say a big thank you for all the feedback in the last two videos. There was a lot of really constructive feedback, you know, repeating of the words, which I definitely figured when I was watching it back. I was like, I'm doing that way too much. And also the plain white background. I had an email saying, you know, put some things in the background because it's just too plain. I agree, so I've done that in this episode, and it's a lot shorter as well. So in terms of how many actual watches are in today's episode, it's only 5, so it's a lot less. But anyway, let's get on with the 5 watches of today. I hope you enjoy, and if you do, leave a like, go follow on social, and go buy the watches. Super affordable episode, so thank you very much. Let's get right into this episode of 5 awesome new pieces. I want to say a big thank you for all the feedback in the last 2 episodes. If you haven't watched them episodes, go back and watch them. A few of the watches have already sold from the vintage and the new, but go check out the website and you can see everything that's still for sale. So again, thank you for all the feedback. I've taken a lot of it on board, and I've set up a little display bit, so it's not just a plain white background. So hopefully you guys appreciate that a lot more. We have the Tudor Black Bay 36, which is the watch I've been wearing, and this little Oris pocket watch up here as well. Super cool. This one dates to the 70s, all original in incredible condition. So for the first watch of this episode, we're going to be taking a look at the Seiko Turtle, and the reference is SRP777. This is the classic Seiko Turtle. You really can't go wrong with this turtle at all. Comes with full papers and a generic box, not the original Seiko box, but a original Seiko box. It has a few scratches here and there, but overall in insanely good condition. It comes in a case size of 45mm, a thickness of 13, a lug to lug of 48, and lug width of 22. So really quite substantial when you look at the figures like that, but when you look at the case shape and the design, it wears incredibly well on any wrist. So I did own a blue one of these for a little while. I think it was the 772 or 773. I could be completely wrong with the reference, but it just wears really well on all wrist sizes. Mine is 6 3/4 inch. And this is what it looks like on mine. You know, I pulled it off, I wore it on the rubber, I wore it on a NATO, I wore it on a metal strap. These watches truly look great on metal straps as well. So if you was to get this, I'd highly recommend investing a little bit more, and with the price I'm charging for this one, you definitely can. You know, get this, get the bracelet, and you have yourself an easy everyday watch. And sticking with Seiko, it is now time for my King Quartz to hit the shop. So you guys who have been long time followers will remember this watch. I picked it up quite a while ago, and I even did a video comparison of this and the Grand Seiko Snowflake, and it's just truly absolutely incredible. Just look at that dial, and the texturing you have on that dial when it hits the light is just amazing, and that same texture follows all the way through the bracelet, and it just looks truly incredible. And it's an adjustable bracelet via this bit, so this is where it's currently at to fit my 6 3/4 inch wrist, so it should easily fit quite a lot of wrists. So if you've got a bigger wrist and you're worried about the size, don't be. In terms of case size, you've got 36mm case diameter, you've got an 11mm thickness, a 42mm lug to lug, and a 17mm lugs. As you can see, the lugs can come out in there, though I wouldn't advise it. You know, this bracelet just looks insane. It just looks truly incredible as is. Just look at it when it hits the light. And I remember when I got this watch, and I was just so impressed with the whole design and build quality. If you look at the indices, they're actually raised for the second hand to fit through, which is just mind-boggling to me that there was this level of detail. Now this one actually dates November 1975, and that's been dated by the movement reference and all the case numbers, which you can do online yourself as well, just to double check. It doesn't come with any box and papers, and obviously is vintage and has been worn, but is in incredible condition. Let me show it you on my 6 3/4 inch wrist right there. So it wears insanely well in my opinion, and it just looks truly great. And the way this bracelet just plays with the light, like, look at that. I think at the price I'm offering this at, it's amazing. You know, I've seen a couple online, some with blue dials, they haven't got this texturing on the case, and they're just not as good as this one in my personal opinion, and they've sold for more than what I'm offering this one at. So pick it up whilst it's still in the shop. So that's it for the two Seikos in the store this week. Very, very different on two opposite ends. You've got a giant diver, modern box and papers, and a really unique vintage, sort of elegant watch, which actually would look great on women as well as men. I wore this one all the time, but seriously unisex. So let's move on to some other things. Okay, now the next one I'm going to show you is actually by the brand Cetina, which quite a few of you guys will know because they're doing some pretty decent stuff nowadays in the modern market. Now this one is actually a vintage one, dating between 1975 and 1980, potentially a little bit later than 1980. It has this really, really nice bracelet design, you know, very similar looking to my Zenith in a few ways, which if you follow me on social media, you'll know what my Zenith looks like. It's got the original bracelet with Cetina stamped on there and the reference codes on the bottom, and the case back right there you can see the 744. So what that is referring to is the movement inside, which is a Cetina 744 Quartz. Now after doing a bit of research, that's actually an ETA 954.112, so it's an actual Swiss quartz movement inside, made by ETA and just renamed by Cetina. Really, really cool watch. I love the champagne coloured dial on it. It's actually got a slight gold on the bezel right there, as you can see. Really, really nice design. Should fit quite a lot of wrists. This is on maxed out, and when I do it up on mine, it spins round. There is a lot of room right here, so it should fit most wrists. And this is what it looks like on my 6 3/4 inch wrist. Truly, truly amazing, especially the price I'm offering it at. You're getting yourself a nice vintage Swiss watch with a reliable quartz movement, which just looks amazing. It just looks truly amazing on the wrist. So grab this up whilst it's still there. I don't know how common these are, how rare they are, I really don't know, but buy it because you like it. And that is one thing you should definitely always remember when buying vintage watches: buy it because you like it. And this one is hard not to like. And I forgot to mention dimensions, so it is 35mm case diameter, 9mm thick, so super thin. 38mm lug to lug, though it's hard to measure a lug to lug when it's an integrated bracelet like this, and 17mm lug size, because them lugs, the bracelet can come off, though I don't see why you would. It just looks amazing on here. So there is that. Next up is a insane value grab from the brand Summit. This watch right here is seriously, seriously awesome, and I just cannot believe how affordable this is at the price I'm offering it at. Just truly, truly incredible. Just look at that dial. Now, I remember when I first saw this, and immediately I was drew to it just by the number 10. Like, the way these numerals are done is something special. It truly is. The case design, like the case shape and everything, really reminds me of an Omega Seamaster, one of the older ones. You know, just the lug design, everything like that, the case design. So it's a case design and case size I'm quite familiar with at 33mm, which might seem quite small, but once it goes on wrist, you'd be quite surprised of the kind of wrist presence you can get from a smaller watch, especially with a design that pops like this and a textured white dial with a beautiful Inca block movement in there. It's truly amazing to me. The kind of value you can get with these Swiss brands, especially ones like Summit. You might see a few of them go on eBay, some of the older Summits, without this kind of design. They've got the little mountains for the logo. Really, really cool watch. So as I said, it's 33mm across, 9mm thick, so actually as thick as the Quartz watch right here, which is just amazing to me. 40mm lug to lug and 17mm lug width. I have squeezed on an 18mm suede strap, which matches the gold lovely, because I just think that looks ace personally. Obviously if you get it, swap it out onto what you think looks good, but my god, and look at the way they play with the light. You know, it's really, really nice, and I think for the value it's insane. Let me show you the movement real quick. Now look at that cool little manual wound 17 jewel movement. Really, really cool. It says Swiss made right there. And look at that heart beat. Super, super cool. And I love the way they've done the jewels right there on this plate, the 17 jewel plate. This looks really, really cool. And next up is one that I fell in love with as soon as I saw the dial. It is this Waltham Beatmaster, which just loses the dial in certain lights. If you go on my Instagram, I posted a picture of this on my wrist, and you just couldn't see the dial in terms of like the logo and everything like that. It just disappeared. It looked like a fume dial, I think is what they call it. And on the dial towards the top, it does look like there's some bubbling going on and some heavy discoloration, so something to keep in mind. Though it's difficult. I think stuff like that adds to the charm, but I understand why a lot of people don't, which is why I photograph and leave it up to you to decide. I can only give my opinion, and my opinion is I love it. I love the way it wears on the wrist as well. Super cool. This one is 38mm case size by 38mm lug to lug, so it's almost well, it is pretty much a perfect square. It's 10mm thick and 20mm lug size. I've put it on this nice brown NATO strap, which just complements that dial perfectly, especially as the gradient gets darker towards the edge. It almost matches the colour of the strap. It's running it's called the Waltham Beatmaster. It's running an automatic 28,800 movement, and the day date function works completely well in terms of quick set and also changing on its own. It's in good working order. Now unfortunately I haven't been able to photograph the movement on this one because, let me demonstrate real quick if I can get this off. The case back has screws here and basically on each corner, and they go in diagonally into the case. Now this case back isn't a pop-off. You unscrew these screws and the case comes apart, so this section comes apart from the bottom bit, and obviously the dial is all attached to the bottom bit, so you have to go through the dial to get to the movement. So I've been unable to photograph the movement, unfortunately, but it's a pretty unique design actually. I've not really seen anything like it where the screws go in diagonally, like I was unscrewing it and it's coming out from like that section. Really, really cool. And there it is on my 6 3/4 inch wrist. It dates somewhere within the 1970s. I haven't been able to accurately age it, unfortunately, but it seems to be mid to late 70s. So that is it in terms of today's video. Some very affordable watches, some great sort of value bargains, Swiss Quartz ETA, some truly unique Seikos, and a common diver which just looks great under every circumstance, and then obviously the Waltham on the wrist as well, just super dope. You really, really can't go wrong. So go pick these up whilst they're on the store, and thank you very much for watching, and I'll see you all in the next one.